You're going to hear a familiar voice, a whiny liberal voice from New York City, a rich boy's son in clip one. Listen to this now.
He goes on TV today and says this is a strategic crisis for the reasons I'm going to lay out here. We have to do something that no one wants to do, which is to go back in with a lot of air power and with special forces and maybe a few conventional troops to help stabilize the situation. We cannot allow an al-Qaeda-backed group to dominate one part of the Middle East and Iran and Iranian-backed groups to dominate another part of the Middle East. It's an unacceptable threat.
I think that Bill Kristol, who's probably never fired a Daisy BB gun, my suspicion is Bill Kristol is, again, one of those neocons, along with Paul Wolfowitz and the other pack of wolves, who got us into Iraq to begin with by putting out the same narrative in 2003. Here he is again, a guy who probably would have a conniption if there was a backfire in Manhattan while he was walking in the street. If Bill Kristol was going out for souvlaki for lunch, let's say, from the Weekly Standard, and a truck backfired, I would suspect he would dive underneath the nearest newsstand and call 911. The same Bill Kristol, who's probably never fired a BB gun in his life, now wants your son to go back to Iraq to die for the military-industrial complex. It's amazing to me that he actually put out a narrative that Mr. Obama should use to go back into Iraq. Isn't it amazing? The guy who would jump from a backfire is now Mr. Gung-Ho. Well, that's the news as I see it. Kristol says we have to go back into Iraq. I have a question, Bill. How come you don't go back into Iraq? You know, in World War II, there were such situations where even Mr. Sarnoff of NBC News, he didn't do actual combat, but he donned the uniform, Bill, and he became a very important general, General Sarnoff of NBC, to help with the war effort. I think he ran some division of the news. I don't know what he did, USO or whatever. I don't know what he ran. News division for the U.S. Army. But he did do it, Bill. You could leave Manhattan. You could leave those tasseled loafers behind, Bill. And you could put boots on the ground, if not in Iraq, well, at least in Washington, and you could help direct the war effort for the Democrats. Because, as you well know, you have no credibility outside of your own magazine's offices. And here I am, sitting and looking, and again, it's happening all over again. The neocons are calling for blood, as they did in 2003. They learned nothing from the invasion of Iraq.